Hello everyone, my name's Shankamuffin for all you don't know, and welcome to my OSRS Efficient PoH guide. I do want to say, guys, before we move forward, a little bit of disclaimer. This is for people at AV4 construction. If you want to watch this guide to see the future of your PoH as to what is to come for it, then by all means go for it. But overall, this is for people that have AD4 construction. So you need to have access to the spicy stew as well as the crystal saw, so they can build pretty much everything that they need in their PoH. One more thing, guys, all this information is taken from the Gear Discord. This is a community run Discord where they have created efficient slaying of bosses, which for the mechanics of it, for the gear and whatnot. So everything that is presented in this video is from that Discord. The link is down in the description below. You'll certainly find out some more and new information about some of your favorite bosses in Old School Runescape. Alright guys, so the first thing we need to get into is the layout of your PoH. It needs to be a 3x3, so 3 rooms by 3 rooms. 8 of those 9 rooms is going to be a guaranteed, they have to be this for an efficient PoH. The 9th room can be whatever you want, so if you want to include anything in the world for your PoH in that 9th room, go for it. Now for this layout, you want to make it a 3x3 as I stated. So this is how you're going to do that. You're going to go into your options menu. You're going to go into your house options, and then you're going to click on build mode. You're going to turn that on, and you're going to turn on viewer. Now don't exit out of viewer. As you can see here on the video, we have a lot of green grass open space. So when we make our 3x3 house, I'm just going to be running along the border of our house. This is all going to be grass, and there's no big open fields like over there. So all this space is going to be grass along the border of our house. So the grass borders will be above and to the side of our house, and there's going to be no other grass spaces. Hopefully you're still in the house viewer. So if you are, you want to take your garden, which will be your exit portal. It's going to be labeled garden : exit portal. You're going to take that and you're going to place it as southwest as you can. I will talk about later as to why you should do this, but you're going to place the garden portal as far southwest as you can. And then once you do that, you're going to have 3 rooms by 3 rooms surrounding the garden portal exit. Now I'll talk about what rooms you'll need later on, and as well as I'll explain the tick loading later on, but as of right now, you just need to make sure that you can place that garden exit portal as southwest as you can. And if you need to make some adjustments for a reason, if you messed up or whatnot, then by all means that's fine, you can always come back, but this will work if you always place your garden exit portal as southwest as you can. So if we move my hall, if I'm going to click on move, click on the room first, and then click on move, and I'm going to click on the tile where I want to move it. So I want to make it just diagonal of where my house portal is. So I clicked on where I want to move it to. I'm going to click done. So I've selected the spot where I want it, and then there you go. Your house is in a 3x3. And then you have the surrounding grass blocks around. So now that you have your portal in the southwest as much as you can, and keep in mind you may have to fiddle around with it in order to get the 3x3. It took me a little bit, but hey, play with it. Just make sure that your portal is as southwest as you can. So with this, you have your 9 rooms. Let's start with the top left corner. That is going to be your portal chamber. Followed by that to the right of it, if you're looking at the top row right now, the middle column, you're going to have a superior garden. Next to that on the right, so we're at the top row. Now on the rightmost column, this can be any room that you want. All right, the first row is now done. Now for your second row, the leftmost room on your second row is going to be your achievement gallery. And then in the direct middle, as we all know, is the house portal exit. And then on the right side of that, so we're still in the middle row, rightmost column, we are looking at the menagerie. Now that row is completed. For your 7th room in the bottom row, leftmost column, you're going to build the combat room. And then next to that on the right will be a superior garden. And then next to that on the right is the workshop. So the first room up would be the portal nexus room, and there's only 3 things they need to add in here. Now anything that you see visually that is aesthetically pleasing or is just, you know, for show, you don't need to add it at all. I'm just going over the basic bare requirements. So if you want to add some flair to it, go for it. I'm not including it. So there are 2 mounted amulets that you can put in the portal nexus room. That would be the mounted Xerax talisman and the mounted Digsight pendant. And finally, because it is called the portal nexus room, you're going to need the portal nexus. Now keep in mind, each tier builds off one another. So that means that if you want to use the level 92 crystalline portal nexus, you need to combine all the items and cost total from the previous 2 tiers. And at the time of this recording, in order to get the highest crystalline portal nexus, would be 5.1 million GP. As well as if you want to add in all the teleports, it's roughly about 9 million GP. So you're going to need a lot of money for this room. It's quite item heavy, so just be aware of that. Other than that, that is it for the portal nexus room. Let's move on to the first superior garden. For your first superior garden, you're going to have to put in the ornate rejuvenation pool and of course the spirit tree and fairy ring teleport. These are the only 2 items that you'll be adding into this garden. The ornate rejuvenation pool is excellent because it restores all your stats, prayer points for energy, special attack, and it removes poison, venom, and it also restores your hit points. And the spirit tree and fairy ring teleport, you can use the spirit tree as well as you can use fairy rings. So obviously that would be pretty awesome to have in your PoH. For the anything room, you can pretty much make anything that you want, but there are 2 exceptions, and I'll explain it later on as to why you do not build an upstairs, you do not build a basement. Don't do that. Do not put those rooms in the anything room, okay? Make that clear. That's a no-no. For me and my PoH, I put a mounted amulet of glory. I feel it would be useful for me in my adventures, so that's what I do. For you, maybe there's something else. Coming up on the achievement gallery right now, guys, our first item in question is the Gilded Adventurers log. Now, I know this one is the Mahogany Adventures log, but for you, you want to go with the Gilded Adventurers log, so have that in your house. Next up on the achievement gallery list, guys, is an altar, and of course you got to go with the occult altar. Put up all the requirements on the screen. Be sure that it is very expensive, so make sure you have all the gold for that. And this combines the ancient altar, the lunar altar, and the dark altar together, so you have access to every single spell book in Old School Runescape. So if you need to use it for any PVM experience or just general magic training, then here you are. And your last item you want to put in your achievement gallery is an ornate jewelry box. So this includes every single teleport in the game in regards to an amulet, a ring, combat bracelet. There's a lot in here, guys, so be sure to have this. Every single teleport's here. Very useful, and it's very quick and easy to get to. And of course, requirements are up on the screen, and be sure that you realize like a lot of things in this PoH that previous tiers are required in order to build upon it. So let's get into the Menagerie. So the Menagerie is pretty straightforward. All you need to do is build a pet house, and that way you can store your pets if you have any in Old School Runescape. And keep in mind that the higher the tier, you need the previous tier, as well as the higher the tier of the house that you build, you can store more pets. So yeah, that's all you need for the Menagerie, so let's go on to the combat room. So the only thing they're going to put in your combat room is a combat dummy, and more specifically, you're going to go after an undead combat dummy. This allows you to see what your max hit is with and without a Slayer task, and other than that, that's it, guys. On to the next one. Alright guys, here we are at the Superior Garden number 2, and all we have here is an Obelisk, and this allows you to teleport to the Wilderness Obelisks. So, quick access from your PoH to get back to the Wilderness if you need to for a Wilderness Slayer task, or, you know, get right into bossing, whatever it may be. Alright, let's go into the final room. So now that we're here at the final room, this is your workshop, and you're just going to be building an armor stand. That is the only asset you're going to be putting in this room. This allows you to repair Barrow's equipment, for instance, as well as other items that need to be repaired via coins. And keep in mind that the higher your smithing level, the less money you'll have to spend for repairing these items. Now that we have every single room completed, guys, let's learn on why we went with 9 rooms, as well as let's see how quickly we load into our house. So an efficient PoH will load in 2 game ticks, so that's 1.2 seconds. So if I leave my house and I go back to my home, pretty much instantaneously, I'm now in my home. I have access to my ornate jewelry box. I can pre up my cult altar. I can access my spirit tree. I can drink from my ornate rejuvenation pool. Basically, this is extremely fast loading. You're going to decrease the amount of time you have to wait over your periods of bossing and PVMing and whatnot. And with 9 rooms here, with no basement and no upstairs, you will load in 2 game ticks. So you have everything and anything you could possibly need right then and there. Teleports, even more teleports, your altar, your obelisk for another teleport, in the words of Mudkip, transportation, and you have a very functional house. And if you want to add some flair like I did, you certainly can, but that might increase your loading time because you have to load in more additional assets. Other than that, guys, this is why this efficient PoH works. It's fast, it's quick, it's reliable, there's everything and anything you could possibly ask for. You don't have to go to a friend's house, you don't have to go to World 330, whatever it is, the house party worlds, and you can just bask in the glory of how you've completed this and having a very functional and very well-deserved PoH. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this video. Hopefully you learned a lot as well as you enjoyed it. As well as before I go, I have to say our 2 channel membership sponsors, and once again, they are Kevin Ace and Josh Sterling. Thank you guys once again. Always appreciative of how you're helping out the channel. Very, very grateful. Very kind individuals. Thank you very much. Anyways, guys, my name's Shankamuffin. I'm signing out. Please enjoy this outro.